session in consultation with the council. Board President may elect to address any items listed on the agenda in any sequence. We're going to begin the meeting tonight with a public hearing regarding the 2018-2019 tax rate.
Hi, good evening, Board President, members of the Board, Dr. Levette, and community members. At this time, I'll be presenting on the 2018 tax rate presentation. This year, this is a 5-year history, tax rate history of all of our tax rate here at the Vernia ISD. It's broken off by the M&O and then the INS. The M&O is the maintenance and operations. This is for the day-to-day operations of the school district. It includes payroll, it includes contracted services, supplies and materials, and so forth. The INS, also known as the interest and seeking, also known as the INS, this is the rate that we need, or that's needed to basically pay off, to make your bond payment. So you add those two together, and you get a total tax rate. So again, going back from 13-14 all the way to 17-18, that's just the history of LVIC's tax rate. There's two approaches of paying off debt early. One is taking advantage of the refunding opportunities, and the other is the increase in tax rate. And by the increase in tax rate, what you do is you basically cash fees some bonds. It's basically you're going to pay down debt. Since 2014, the district has taken advantage of the refunding opportunities and saved over $6.7 million in savings towards the life of the current bond debt structure. That's really, really good. I mean, that's $6.7 million over the life of the loan that we're not going to pay out. So just by taking advantage of the refunding opportunities. So great job on that board. The 2018-2019 proposed tax rate is provided there. The 17-18, this year that we just finished, was 1.415. And we are proposing a 2-cent increase of 1.435. And that breakdown is the M&O is $1.04, followed by the INS at 0.395. It's a 2-cent increase on the INS side. So if we do increase the tax rate by 2 pennies, 2 pennies will bring an additional $196,000 in 266. That's just a scenario of a 1 cent increase, 2 cent, 3 cent, 4 cent, and 5 cent. Again, the proposed rate is the 2 cent increase, so again, that would bring an additional $196,000. That extra revenue could be used to cash and fees the 2012 bond series that are callable on 8/15/2021. So this is just an example to the average taxpayer out in the community. So if with that 2 cent increase, if you have a home value based on $250,000, you minus a homestead exemption of $25,000, which you have to apply for to get that. That 2 cent increase is basically $45 per year for that 2 cent increase, which is about $3.75 a month that taxpayer would pay based off $250,000 home. There's an example of $275, $300, $325. If they don't have the homestead exemption, then it increases to about there $4.17. If you compare the top and the bottom numbers to that, so that pretty much includes the tax rate.
Thank you, Mr. Vanellis.
Yes, ma'am.
Just a note here, while we have a good audience, is to give some background as to why we do this. And the reasoning is we want to strategically plan for the future. So, like I was saying, is we want to strategic. What we're trying to do is strategically plan for future growth of the district. It's important that we pay down our debt, our current debt, in a deliberate and proactive manner. The strategy will give us more options when it comes to making a determination of future construction needs. as you saw, the increase, could be $60 a year, $5 for a Starbucks latte a month. So if we are able to do that, that gives us more options. But it allows us to pay down the existing debt, and we're not increasing the rate for the operating budget, so we're not adding any additional monies in there. We're solely looking at reducing debt. Last year, we were able to set aside $900,000 for the defeasance of debt, and we intend to do the same thing this year. This action will save the district a significant amount of money in interest on the outstanding debt. Ultimately, the approval of the proposed tax rate helps us maintain our longstanding commitment to fiscal responsibility and strengthens our ability to accomplish our mission, which is to provide all Vernia ISD students with the best educational experiences possible. So there's that reasoning behind, a lot of people sit there and go, well, I don't want to pay more taxes, but if we pay a little bit more now, we have more opportunity and more options in future years when we are going to have to determine if we're going to make, some changes in our buildings, or we're going to add buildings. Current costs right now are, for elementary school, I believe it's $20 million. Junior high is $55 million. These are basic schools. You get to a high school, brand new high school, it's $80 million. So we have to really be conscious about what we're doing right now and saving all the dollars we can, so that when we make those decisions, that we have the money available to do the right things. Thank you. Please stand for the pledge. Sorry, please be seated. I'm sorry, does anybody have any comments or concerns? Or anything to add? Please stand for the pledge.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's pray. Our Heavenly Father, thank you for this time that you have given us to come together, discuss the business of the Vernia School. I just pray for your presence as we discuss these items, and that our decisions are guided. Just thank you for the staff that supports, thank you for the students. Just pray that you'll just keep each of us safe as we go through the year. In Jesus Christ, we operate. Amen.
Next item is board celebrations. Does anybody have anything to share?
I guess I do sort of I want to celebrate our students' proactiveness just throughout campus and trying to advance their careers and attain their goals. I happen to work with a gentleman who's an alumni for a big university, and he took a busload of kids, 30 or 40 of them, to this university, had a big weekend off. Anyway, as we're chatting, he had 3 students from Vernia go there, and I was like, what? And just in the network, we're talking or whatever, and it just dawned on me that our students, you've got to lean forward, you've got to be proactive, so I applaud all the students for being proactive and managing their careers to obtain their goals.
I have a couple of things. I guess this brings me back to why I'm on the school board. Went over to the intermediate school during the Apex round last week, and it was so much fun because I was standing there marking off the shirts. Every lap the child got, they got to mark on their shirt. And you see these kids run up and running, and their faces are red, they're out of breath. You hear them say, well, you have 8 minutes left. And I tell the kids, those particular kids, like, okay, you have 8 minutes left, you can do 10 laps. And they would come back, okay, how much do I have left? And just seeing that enthusiasm by just telling them, you can do this. We know that you can do this. And then also last week I was at a junior high cross country and watching some of the kids, and I had seen them out there running during the summer. And it was hard for them to make a lap. And seeing them progress to middle of September and realizing, seeing them go from barely even making it to being basically in the middle of the pack of everybody running. They didn't stop and walk for the whole mile and a half. And just that excitement when they acknowledged that. I remember when you had to walk trying to do a 400, and now you can do a mile and a half without stopping and repeating. So just seeing that enthusiasm is a reason to be around. Is there anybody for a public forum? Now we'll start with the recognitions. The Advanced Placement Program Scholars Recognition, Dr. Wood.
Good evening, Ms. Burkle, Dr. Levette, and members of the board. We are very excited to bring forth this agenda item. We are recognizing 17 Vernia High School students who have achieved the highest honors. We are celebrating tonight students who are awarded the AP Scholar with Honors, and the AP Scholars with Distinction through the College Board based on their AP scores taken last May. So I'd like to introduce two people who are going to honor all of our recognitions tonight. The first is Jackie Simmons, our Coordinator of College, Career, and Military Readiness, and Noah Recker, Teacher Extraordinaire, that's his official title, and AP Coordinator.
It's an honor and a privilege to recognize our students. These students who are with us this evening have earned AP Scholar Awards by taking rigorous courses and receiving qualifying scores on multiple AP exams. In addition, they've earned multiple college hours through the AP program and dual credit courses. Before we recognize them, Jackie Simmons is going to tell you a little bit about how they achieved that. She's going to start with AP Scholars.
Before I do that, I want to say that I really want to say thank you to your parents for supporting you, because this is no small achievement for what all you've done, and to your teachers for pushing you, but mostly thank you to you for pushing yourself and for taking the challenge yourself, because you should be very proud of what you all are here to be recognized for. So our first, so there's three groups: AP Scholars, AP Scholar with Honor, and AP Scholar with Distinction. So AP Scholar means that they scored a 3 or higher, so you can score 1 through 5 on AP tests. So they scored a 3 or higher on at least 3 or more tests. So 3 by 3. And we had 10 students who took over 45 tests that scored AP Scholar honors.
And first off, we have Carolina De La Fuente. She's a junior, and she plans to attend UT Austin, and she, so far as a junior, has earned at least 12 potential college hours. We have Elias Hudson. He's a senior. He plans to attend UT Austin to study political science. He wants to then go to law school, and he's earned 20 potential total college hours so far. Haley Yanasek is a senior, plans to attend TCU, major in communications to become an event coordinator, and she's also earned about 20 potential total college hours. John Michael Catermas is a senior, plans to attend Texas A&M or UT Austin if he attends college in Texas. He's also applying to several out-of-state universities. He plans to study engineering to become an aerospace engineer, and has also earned about 20 potential college hours. Bell Skaggs is a senior, plans to attend UT or Texas A&M to study public health to become a maternal fetal specialist or OBGYN, and she's earned about 20 potential college hours. And Morgan Bidas is a senior, plans to attend Texas A&M to study pre-nursing to become a neonatal nurse, and she's earned about 20 potential college hours. We've also had 4 that have graduated, but we're also AP Scholars. And it's Melanie Catermas, who's currently attending Texas A&M, Allison Kaiser, who is attending UT Dallas, Amanda Leha, who's attending UT Austin, and Sarah Wildenstein, who's also attending UT Austin. These are your AP Scholars.
as you can tell from the hours that they've accumulated, in dual credit college hours and stuff, most of them are on track to be starting college as sophomore hours. So, which that's really nice for mom and dad too. Financially, so not to mention them, that gives them chances to do a whole lot more in those 4 years. So our next group is AP Scholar with Honor. So this group, let's see, not only they had to get a 3 or higher on 4 or more tests. So the AP Scholar is 3 or more. This is 4 or more. And they also had to have an average score of at least 3.25 on all of their AP tests. So that's AP Scholar with Honor. We have 3 of those two.
Tonight we have Ethan Royal. Ethan's a senior. He plans to attend Texas A&M to study architecture, and he's earned about 24 potential college hours. And already a sophomore, exactly. And then we had 3 that graduated already that are AP Scholars with Honors. Hannah Urban, who's attending Alamo College and plans to transfer to Texas A&M Corpus Christi, and Madison Salter, who's attending UT Austin East United. So your AP Scholars with Honors.
Those 3 students took 14 tests total. 23 of them took 14 tests. Then our last designation is AP Scholar with Distinction. So this group had to score 3 or higher on 5 or more exams. And they had to have an average of 3.5 on all of their exams. So it jumps up every time. So 5 or more, so it was 3, 4, 5, and then 3.2, and then now 3.5 average on all of their exams. We had 4 students earn this distinction, and those 4 students took 24 tests total. Yeah, that's nice.
So the students that graduated, first off, we had Zimri Kapmeyer, who's currently attending Trinity University, Sabina Schwab, who's attending Texas A&M, and Isabel Smith, who is taking a gap year to decide her future plans. Before I announce this young lady, I just on a personal note, I cannot remember the last time we had an AP Scholar with Distinction that's still in school. That's a pretty big deal. So, Brielle Weiss, she's a senior. She's applying to several universities, including Johns Hopkins. Plans to major in biology, go to medical school, and she's earned about 28 potential college hours. Before I congratulate them one more time, I just would like to say Kim Martin really wanted to be here, but she's not doing so hot in the wellness department right now, so just wishing her good vibes. Hope she's feeling better soon. But congratulations to all of our AP scholars, and thanks to our WCN school board for your support and dedication to our district. It's 83 total tests with these students, so that's a lot. Thank you again.
One final recognition. We have 1 National Merit semifinalist from Vernia High School, John Michael Kevins. He was named a National Merit semifinalist based on his PSAT NMS QT score from last October that he took when he was a junior. This year, he will be in the process of applying as a National Merit finalist. We will get the announcements of that in February of 2019. So please join me in honoring John Michael.
Thank you. That was amazing to me when you think about the numbers. Now we'll move on to the discussion and report items. We'll have the Go Public campaign presentation. Dr. Zimmer.
Thank you, Ms. Purple, members of the board, and Dr. Levette. It's my privilege to have a special guest with us here tonight. This is Lisa Jackson. She's the executive director. This is Lisa Jackson. She's the executive director of the Go Public campaign. Go Public is a collaborative effort between independent school districts in the San Antonio region. Their objective is to shine a light on the positive stories happening in our public schools every day. Go Public specifically promotes the benefits of a K-12 public education in our region by showcasing again those choices and opportunities our independent school districts provide in preparing students for college, career, and life. In addition, Go Public connects business and industry with programs offered through our public schools. So this is an opportunity for us to do even more to promote college and career readiness, as well as other types of programs that our students are involved in. So I'm going to step aside and let Lisa take the stage and tell you more about Go Public and what it provides, the opportunities it provides for our region.
Thank you, Dr. Zimmer. Thank you, Dr. Levette, Ms. Purple, and the board. I appreciate your time tonight. I'm very excited to be able to share Go Public with you. I'm going to just provide a bit of a 30,000-foot view and try to drill down into a couple of topics. But I do just want to state, just because that was so special what I watched. I just came back from my high school reunion this past weekend. I was a graduate of Carrollton Farmers Branch ISD in Smith High School back in the day. And I also had placed out of AP courses. And I thought to myself, you know, from back then all the way to now, I would have never imagined that my path would have taken me here, where I have the privilege of shining a light on amazing programs and work that's happening in the schools. So I have a very personal connection with a family who's come from public education. So that was really pretty amazing. And it's something that you all obviously very, very rightly so should be proud of. Go Public is, like Dr. Zimmer said, currently 17 ISDs are part of the Go Public family. It's we are now in our 5th year. This is my 3rd year serving as the executive director. Prior to my coming on board, it was actually a campaign launched by an agency who got it off the ground. And we have a steering committee that guides our direction. The next slide. Which is actually what Dr. Zimmer mentioned, what it is that we do, so we can actually move on to the next. So really, what is it and what are the tactical elements of how we do Go Public? Well, we basically amplify the stories and successes and events that we can find through social media, newsletters, direct contact, and district websites. So we shine a light on all the good work that you all are doing to tell even a bigger story to the public. This is a really great example. So one of the anchors that we have in everything we do is our message every year. And then also, we demonstrate strength through numbers. So for example, when we're talking about college credits earned, we're able to state that we have, which I have a little bit, 10,000? No, industry certifications, we have 10,187 industry certifications, 83,000 college credits earned plus, right? Those are huge numbers, and we're able to then let the public know the value of public education to the community. The next slide demonstrates just sort of a quick at a glance of some of the tactics that we use. So again, we really are part of the districts. Each district, we have a point of contact with each of the communications people, the superintendents, and the trustees. This is not an entity that sits out here doing this. This is part of the family. We are all together. There is nothing that separates Go Public from the districts. We're actually an arm of the districts. In some ways, a marketing arm. So we utilize tactics like television, radio, billboards, bus wraps, events, newsletters, social media, all of these different ways that marketing can help get the word out about what we're doing. The next slide, this is some examples. I'll share some of the examples that we did this past year. Our in-school efforts included buttons that we would hand out at conferences, We did 450 of those vinyl banners, so every single school throughout San Antonio displayed one of those banners so that people who are driving by are getting that message coming directly from the schools. We also had car magnets and car stickers, so that's another way of getting the message out. Additional in-school efforts, this is a really great example. Both of these are screenshots of one is of a very small district where they utilize the logo throughout their website, and then all of our districts have the Go Public campaign logo on all of their materials. Very similar to the Go Local campaign, right? If you're a business and you display that Go Local emblem, that means something to the consumer. The next slide, this is an example of our billboard campaign that we do every year. We're very strategic about where we place these billboards, but this is a way of connecting the community to their district. Each district had billboards in their area. These are all students who were featured on the billboards, and the message last year was college, career, life ready. So this is just one more example of how we utilize messaging through different tactics. The next slide, we have a variety of efforts that are occurring within radio, television, and digital. These are all stories that are coming from the districts that then we elevate and push out through the different channels. One of our biggest initiatives, Cool Schools, has been extremely successful, where we're able to amplify programs and stories around a brand that we collaborated with KSAT on called Cool Schools. The next slide, community engagement. We have an initiative with the YMCA, and then we also have a partnership with San Antonio Fire, Police, Sheriff, and the military, where one day in March, 300 elementary schools, all in one day, have volunteers from different stations who come out and they do a physical activity drill and a nutrition lesson with them. The media does get those stories picked up on their stations, but also too, it's a way where we're connecting the community to the districts. The city bus route initiative that we just had this last year with Via Bus was extremely exciting. We actually put a call out to all of the districts for any high school students who wanted to see their artwork featured on a city bus. And we had 44 pieces of student art that were wrapped on the exterior of these buses, and they are still driving throughout San Antonio. We were then able to anchor that around a media event and a partnership with San Antonio Chamber of Commerce. As a result of that, to note, the business partner who was a part of one of the buses was so excited about what happened here and the excitement from the students who were featured that they offered to underwrite the buses for this next year. So that's, again, another example where we're able to engage the community in the value of what our schools are bringing. And then traditional, looking at social media, sharing stories and creating campaigns on social media to engage as many parents especially as possible. That type of engagement is something that is a very strong focus moving into this next year. You'll see a lot more layers of our social media campaign. We also are looking at opportunities, or we've actually secured this opportunity with Alamo City Mom Blog. We want to connect more and more with the parents, and they are a pretty strong force out in San Antonio, so we have an initiative that we will be starting with them this year. And we also worked with Fun for Alamo Kids. This is another outreach effort of educating parents about what we're doing in our schools, as well as general messages like get out and vote and think about public education when you do so. So we have contributions from the school